Yo, it's boy Marcus from West Indies back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about why CoD Mobile Zombies failed and what could have been done to make it better over the course of time. The last 5.5 years of this game's life cycle have shown that this is pretty much a failed mode, and it's really one of the only things about CoD Mobile that has been like generally just terrible. You know what I mean? So it's just been like they release the mode right after the game launches. They take a couple months and they release it after the game launches. So, it comes in and it's Shinonuma, which in my opinion, we can debate this at another time, but Shinonuma is not a good map, right? On console, the only reason it's known and has lore is because if you want to hit the highest round ever of all time in any COD Zombies map ever, you have to play Shinonuma because the zombies are limited and you can get to around like 10,000 plus. I think that's the record. So it's got a lot of lore to it, but it's not a good map. Now, the graphics at the time of its release and really overall weren't great until recently when the CoD Mobile sort of really put a focus into how the game actually looks, and then it got better. It obviously looks pretty good now. So the experience overall is it is what it is. One of the things that people don't like about zombies in this experience is the numbers popping out. You can take that off actually, but you can't. It's not a big deal and mobile, but it's a much bigger deal on console. So that's just something I wanted to address overall. Now, the two maps that were ever leaked to come to CoD Mobile Zombies are Shinonuma, which actually came, and Nocturne Toten. Right, Nocturne Toten is the first zombies map ever made back in World at War, and Shinonuma was the map that came shortly after that. Right, these two maps are about two of the most basic maps ever. Like, they are as simple as you could possibly get for a map. Like, literally, like, aside from just making a map one room, like, these are super simple maps. Every map that came after these pretty much were way more complicated. There's way more to them, and just overall they were better experiences. But they didn't choose to bring back any of those maps for CoD Mobile, right? They could have brought back Town. Town would have been a much better experience, and it's still sort of a cookie cutter basic map, right? They didn't choose to do that. They didn't choose to bring back any sort of great maps, iconic maps that people love in terms of like how great they are. That's why people love them. Like this is obviously much more difficult, but like Shadows of Evil, The Rising Drac, 9, Ancient Evil, Origins, Buried, these iconic awesome maps that people generally love, or even a non-Treyarch one like Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland. You know what I mean? They didn't go to any of these experiences to try to bring those back. So that kind of puts a dampen on the mode overall, right? It could have been a lot better from a replay value perspective had they added in maps that are a lot better. Now, let's talk about some of the actual mechanics, right? We do start off with our spawn pistol. I love that. That should always be a staple in every zombies map ever. The starting pistol should be on every map. You could change the pistol, but you should start with the starting pistol. I'm one of those people. I don't like starting with like a random gun. You know what I mean? I want my starting pistol and I want to build from there. Now, that's great. I love that about this game. There's also a pack-a-punch system. Let's get into that because people love to talk about pack-a-punching. The pack-a-punch system is interesting. It's kind of like more of the Cold War system where you just pack-a-punch multiple times, but it just sort of slowly upgrades it. So I think you could pack-a-punch like 5 times. That's cool. I don't have any problems with that. I think that's a solid thing to be able to do. It's not a big deal for me to be able to do that. It's just kind of like an added benefit. I think they actually made that change at one point in time to that system to sort of make the mode more fun and replayable. Now, there's no pack-a-punch camo. That's kind of a staple thing in zombies. You gotta have a pack-a-punch camo, right? It doesn't have to be the best, right? But you gotta have something. You know what I mean? So a pack-a-punch camo on console would sort of look more like the Glacial Ripple Tournament camo, that blue camo, where it's reactive and kind of just goes along your gun. That would be something that we could do, or something else more towards that effect. I just died to dogs. So yeah, there's options there with that kind of thing, but they just didn't include it at all, which is definitely terrible. Gobblegums system. So in this game, we have the coin system, which sort of mimics the Gobblegums system from Black Ops 3, or the Fate and Fortune cards from IW, or the elixirs from BO4. from console people who understand those references. So the coin system, essentially you pay like 500 points, you get a coin, and the coin will be like your little power up, right? So it could slow all the zombies down to half speed, it could make them literally pause for however long, or it'll kill them in some sort of fashion, right? So there's a lot of benefits to those kind of things. But the system overall is just not appealing. It doesn't seem like it's as fun to use as like the Gobblegums and things like that. I feel like they could have done a better job with like putting more time and effort into making that system more prevalent and putting into patch notes like, hey, we added more new versions of this and things like that, right? But you never see that in the patch notes. I feel like I haven't seen anything about zombies in patch notes since I started making videos on YouTube. So it's definitely, there's been some changes that have been made, or I guess you could say lack thereof changes that needed to be made to sort of improve the quality of the gameplay experience overall. Now, let's talk about boss fights. Boss fights in this game mode are the Abomination and Jaboku, right? I don't even know if the Jaboku boss fight is still in this game. I feel like I haven't done it in forever. But the Jaboku one was better. It was actually a little harder, and you like having a little bit harder boss fight. But the boss fights are very simple. The boss is going to be in the middle. You'll see the Abomination one in this video, and he's just going to follow you around, try to kill you, and you have to stop him or kill him. They're very easy to destroy. Even in the hardcore modes, I think they're very easy to destroy as well. So overall ease is kind of a thing, but I think at a certain point in time, when you've been fighting the same boss for years, that you could have changed that up a little bit, right? This isn't like a console title where they can't just make that change to make it a little stronger or something like that. They could do a little more to make it better. So that's something I think that could have been addressed to, you know, make it a little more complex and more fun and replayable for people. Boss spam. So one of the good things I noticed about this is boss spam isn't really an issue until the later rounds. I'm talking 30 plus. That's nice. Boss spam is a big problem in Call of Duty on console nowadays in zombies. So not having that being an issue here is good, and I think people do enjoy that. But there are an array of bosses. They're just not, I don't feel like they're that much of a pain to deal with overall. So that makes it better. I start bugging right here. This is the bug I'm talking about, I believe. So my character's here, like running around, but apparently it was still the whole time. I don't know what happened here, but I ended up just dying over and over again here in a couple minutes for some reason. Like you see me getting hits, but I'm not, like I'm upstairs apparently. So I don't know what happened here, but issues like this, like I play one game of zombies and I'm having this weird bug where I keep dying constantly. So I don't know why that is, but that is something that certainly needs to be addressed. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's just a glitch in the spawn point. That being said, those types of bugs kind of keep people away. So perks. Let's talk about perks, man. This is a huge mechanic. We have a lot of perks on this map. I do love that, right? You got all your basics, your quick revive up top, your juggernog, you got your speed cola, double tap, stamina up, dead shot daiquiri. You know what I mean? You got all the basics, which is really nice. I think that's really good for the game and helps people play it more. It's good to have all those basic perks. It would also be kind of nice if down the road they add in some of the other ones like Vulture Aid or Who's Who or Tombstone, or just any of them. Those aren't great perks. Actually, Vulture Aid's good, but the other two aren't good. But just to add them in for people to use, right? Or if you have a new map planned, add them in for that. I think that would have made this mode a lot better, but they never did any of that, so that makes it suck. The difficulties for the mode overall. So for CoD Mobile Zombies, there's the hardcore mode and then there's the easy mode. I think this is the easy mode, and this is super easy. Like, you know what I mean? I just hop on, do whatever. If it wasn't for that bug, and me trying to do like a starting room only challenge, where I don't leave the starting room until the boss fight, that I wouldn't have had any problems. But the starting room challenge can be difficult because the guns in there are just terrible. That being said, the Undead Siege mode. Oh man, I hate that mode. Undead Siege sucks. I think it's a complete and total waste of development time, and it's just like, it's cool to play once, but doesn't have any staying power. I don't know why casuals seem to like it. I don't see any enjoyment in that mode at all, but people seem to play it. And maybe it's just because they want to get their battle pass points or something like that. But I absolutely can't stand that mode. I think it's terrible. It's literally just zombies on one of the BR maps in a special zone where you like sort of just complete the missions. It sucks. I hate that. I'm one of those people out there that thinks the Outbreak ruins zombies on console. So that kind of thing ruins zombies on mobile. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see that. That's just kind of my general thoughts on it. Now, let's talk about the Wonder Weapon, right? So they didn't actually put the Wonder Weapon from the original map in here. You do have the ray gun in the box, and you can get the ray gun. But the original Wonder Weapon for this map was the Wonder Wall. And that's a electrical gun. It shoots an electric current, and it shocks all the zombies, right? Awesome Wonder Weapon, iconic. People love it. They've brought it back in multiple games. But they didn't put that in this map. It's not buildable. It's not in this map at all. Why they didn't do that, I don't know. That's a big opportunity missed, because having 2 Wonder Weapons on this map would have been a lot better. You know what I mean? People would have had a lot more fun playing this map if they could have done that. And it would have had at least a little more staying power. You know what I mean? No additional grinds like prestiging or anything other than the Dark Ether camo. The Dark Ether camo is cool. Me personally, I'll never do that grind. That is just too much time put into this one map. You know what I mean? I hate playing Shipment over and over again. I'm definitely gonna hate playing Shino Numa over and over again, because I don't like this map. So I feel like the one grind kind of sucks, and there aren't other maps to sort of do it on. So it's just a not enjoyable experience. The lack of developer support to the mode is a problem. But like when you think about that lack of support, right? And I've kind of said this a couple times. What do I mean? So there are 50 multiplayer maps in CoD Mobile. 50. And there are 4 BR maps in CoD Mobile, but only 1 zombies map in CoD Mobile. That kind of shows you how, lackluster the attempt to make this mode more fun and enjoyable was, because they only put in 1 map. That's pretty terrible. And obviously I don't count Undead Siege as a map. That's a BR map. So they made that for that, and they're just throwing it in zombies. The gun class system kind of ruins game progression, right? So there's a box right there on the main floor next to the Pack-a-Punch where you can pick up your own weapon that you've built and customized. I feel like that, like, people just run whatever the best weapon is. You know what I mean? That's cool, because if you want to get Dark Ether, it helps make it a little bit easier. But I feel like people just, it doesn't really, like, I love having the mystery box and hitting the box and trying to get a weapon out of there that's going to be solid, and then finding out what guns are good, bad, and ugly. You know what I mean? So I wish I had that kind of experience for it. Also, like the steps to get Pack-a-Punch and elevators built and stuff like that, just grabbing a couple parts, I don't think that's bad. I think that's just kind of like, there could have been more to do some of those items, but for casual Codm players that play zombies, I feel like that is okay, because they're generally not spending that much time playing the game, so it does need to be something bare bones and simple for them. But I feel like there could have been more Easter eggs and little harder challenges for people to do. And speaking of the Easter egg, I think there is a teddy bear Easter egg. I think I did it one time a long time ago. Might do it again because it's been so long. But I think that's more like what I was actually looking for. So I wish they had more like that kind of action on that map. But it is Shino Numa. It's basic. It's simple. So that's why I say they needed more maps for zombies. Now, the actual battle pass system, which is sort of the out-of-game way to track how much you're playing zombies, it doesn't get updated very often. I just played this game, and when I played this game, I realized they haven't updated the battle pass. I'm still tier 56. I haven't played zombies in I don't even know how long. You know what I mean? So for me to still be tier 56 is crazy, because they should have at least refreshed it once since then. I haven't played zombies since my last zombies video, which I'm pretty sure is months ago. I don't think I've played zombies in 2025, to be honest with you. I don't remember the last time I played it. So they should have made some sort of adjustments at this point in time to have made this mode better. Now, some of the other things I think about this mode, it is a mobile game, right? So it's fun to a degree. There are other Call of Duty Zombies mobile games. I think there was one a long time ago that was like $5 to pay, and I think it had like Derice in it, but I don't think they're necessarily copying that. I think this is all kind of their experience with this mode is going to lead them into making a fully fleshed out CoD Mobile Zombies experience, where they're literally going to hopefully, ideally, copy and paste things from console straight into mobile, monetize it, and add in grinds and things like that for a specific zombies only game. No multiplayer, no BR, just zombies, which I think would make a killing. And I'll probably cover that in a later video, what I think they should do if they actually ever plan on making that fully fleshed out game. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It's been your boy Marcus from Orsini. I'm out.